Travel through a beautiful Japanese garden filled with fountains, flowers, and shrines. You'll pass through as many Torii gates as possible while meeting vendors, poets, and even samurai along the way in 100 Torii. Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Delp.
And I'm Kevin Delp. 100 Torii is a 1 to 4 player set collection tile laying game published by Pencil First Games and is coming to Kickstarter this May.
It's designed by Scott Caputo and Ed Baraf and illustrated by Vincent Dutray.
Let's look at the prototype components. There's tiles, tokens, meeples, and more. To set up the game, you'll place the start tile in the middle of the table, and everyone receives 2 tiles and 2 coins.
On your turn, you place a tile into the garden to try to collect landmark tokens, which you can then turn in for achievements that are worth points. Players will continue taking turns until the stack of tiles is depleted, which triggers the final round.
Now, the first thing you can do on your turn is get help from one of the characters. This is an optional action, and we'll explain that a little later in the video.
You must play a tile from your hand, making sure the paths connect. You'll choose one of the icons on your tile and then trace a path back to the nearest matching icon. You'll receive 1 of the matching landmark tokens.
For each red gate you pass through on the path, you receive an extra token that matches. So here I would get 3 Lotus landmark tokens, 1 for matching and 2 for the 2 red gates.
For each blue gate you pass through, you can take any landmark token that is different from the icon you matched.
Once you collect 5 of a kind, you turn in the tokens to gain the 5-point achievement for that landmark. If you gain 5 more landmarks of that kind, you flip it over to the 10-point side. But you won't be able to turn in that type of token for any more points.
There are also some special achievements that go to the first few people who qualify for them, like gaining all of the 5-point landmark achievements or 3 of the 10-point landmarks.
If you ever enclose a path so there are no open ends and the path has at least 2 landmarks showing, then you gain the enclosure point token.
So that's the basic gameplay. Now let's look a little closer at the characters that you can ask for help at the beginning of your turn. To activate them, you have to spend coins or tokens that you've already collected.
The vendor costs 1 token to activate and lets you discard 1 tile from your hand and draw 2, giving you more versatility in what you can play that turn.
The samurai also costs 1 token and can be placed in the garden to block a spot. No tile can be placed there until the samurai is moved.
The poet costs 3 tokens. You place the poet figure on top of one of the landmarks in the garden so it won't trigger a match.
The geisha costs 3 and allows you to play 2 tiles, but you only score the second tile played.
The gardener costs 3 and allows you to cover up a previously played tile. This can score you some major landmarks if played well.
When you gain help from a character, you not only get to take the action, but you also get points. The first person to use the same character 3 times gets the achievement tile.
Once the game is over, players will count up their points to see who wins the game. The gameplay is super smooth. You might ask a character for help, play a tile, gain your stuff, and then draw back up to 2 tiles.
Yeah, having multiple tiles in your hand to choose from really gives some good decision points, but those choices are still limited, so it does keep the game moving. Obviously, I want to go through as many gates as possible because I want to collect a lot of tokens, but I also have to keep in mind that when I lay that tile, I might be giving the other players some pretty good opportunities too.
I love the illustrations from Vincent Dutray in this game, and it's so great that the game gets more beautiful as you play and expand the garden. And you also have all the characters and landmarks too, that make the visuals stand out so well.
The characters in the game really make for some interesting decisions, and I think they actually elevate the game from just simple tile laying. You can use them to reshape the garden and get a lot of extra tokens. But you do have to spend tokens to use them.
Yeah, for example, the vendor can be a little bit of a gamble. You're going to discard one of your tiles. You're going to grab 2 tiles, looking hopefully for a certain icon that you may or may not get, but the cost is low. It only costs you 1 token.
Yeah, another thing that I appreciate about the game is how they have incorporated the theme.
In the back of the rulebook, there are a few pages to help you learn more about Japan. We found that extremely helpful and glad that such care was not only put into the gameplay, but also the history and theme too.
Based on the prototype we received, there doesn't seem to be much variability in the setup. You're going to use all the same characters and achievements in every game.
But you do randomly remove some tiles at the beginning of each game.
But even though it doesn't have that variability, I do think it still has replayability.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because the garden, it's going to be different every single game. So you're going to have to adjust your strategies and base your decisions on the changing game state.
So if you enjoy tile laying games with some set collection aspects, then check out 100 Torii from Pencil First Games on Kickstarter this May, and we would love for you to subscribe to Tantrum House. A 1 to 4 player tile laying game, set collection game designed by... Nope, you get to do that. Go again.
Taking my lines.
Yeah. Come to Kickstarter. Did I forget?
1 to 4 players.
Okay, go one more time. The gameplay is super smooth. You might ask for help. Ask.
Ask.
One more time.